The courtroom fell silent, except for the sound of a young boy quietly sniffling beside his father. The man, tall but weary, stood in his faded uniform, his medals pinned neatly across his chest. His name was Michael Carter, a single dad, a Navy veteran, and a man fighting for the only thing that mattered to him: custody of his 8-year-old son, Eli. "Mr. Carter," the judge said with a smirk, adjusting his glasses. "These medals you claim prove your service. They look fake. Where did you buy them?" "Online." A ripple of laughter moved through the courtroom. The opposing attorney sneered, whispering something under his breath as the judge chuckled. Michael didn't move. He stood there, shoulders back, hands shaking slightly, trying to hold himself together. "I didn't buy them," he said quietly. "I earned them." But his voice cracked halfway through, not from weakness, but from the pain of disbelief that the country he served could now question his honor. Eli gripped his father's sleeve, whispering, "It's okay, Daddy. I know you're a hero." Michael smiled weakly, placing his rough hand over his son's tiny one. "That's all that matters, buddy." The judge sighed, clearly annoyed. "Mr. Carter, unless you can provide official proof of your so-called service, I can't consider your military record in this case. I'm inclined to believe your ex-wife's attorney, that these are for show." The courtroom buzzed again. Michael's ex-wife looked away, guilt flickering across her face. She hadn't meant for things to go this far, but her lawyer wanted to paint Michael as unstable, unfit. Michael's chest tightened. He had faced storms, enemy fire, and sleepless nights in foreign lands. But this humiliation, this was different. He closed his eyes and thought back to the Navy ship where he had spent years of his life. He remembered the long nights writing letters home, praying for the day he'd return and hold his son again. Now, that same son might be taken away. Suddenly, the heavy doors of the courtroom swung open. Everyone turned. A man in full Navy dress blues entered, medals gleaming, posture perfect. He carried an air of quiet authority, and the clerk quickly stood to announce, "Admiral Jonathan Reeves, U.S. Navy." Gasps filled the room. The judge straightened immediately. "Admiral Reeves, what brings you here?" The admiral's voice was calm, yet commanding. "I received a call this morning. Someone told me that Chief Petty Officer Michael Carter was being accused of falsifying his service." He looked around slowly. "That didn't sit right with me." He turned toward Michael, their eyes met. Recognition flashed instantly. The admiral approached the stand, stopping just in front of the judge. "Your Honor, this man," he said, pointing to Michael, "saved my life." The room froze. Admiral Reeves continued, his voice steady but thick with emotion. "In 2010, during Operation Deep Shield, our convoy was ambushed. I was pinned under wreckage. Chief Carter disobeyed a direct order, risked his own life, to pull me out while the enemy fire rained down around us. If he hadn't," Reeves swallowed hard, "I wouldn't be standing here today." The medals the judge had mocked now gleamed under the courtroom lights, silent witnesses of sacrifice. The judge's face went pale. He stammered, I wasn't aware of this." "Of course you weren't," the admiral said firmly. "Because men like him don't brag. They serve. They bleed. They sacrifice in silence." He stepped closer to Michael, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Chief Carter, it's been too long." Michael stood straight, his voice low. "Good to see you again, sir." For a moment, neither spoke. The quiet respect between them filled the room stronger than any words could. The judge quickly adjusted his papers, clearing his throat. "Mr. Carter, I owe you an apology. Your service and your courage are beyond dispute." Michael didn't gloat. He simply nodded and looked down at his son. Eli beamed with pride, his eyes glistening. The judge's tone softened. "Given the new testimony, it's clear Mr. Carter is a man of honor and integrity. Custody will remain with the father." Tears welled up in Michael's eyes. He knelt beside Eli and hugged him tightly. The little boy whispered, "We did it, Daddy." Michael smiled. "No, buddy. We held on." As the crowd stood in respectful silence, Admiral Reeves gave a final salute to Michael. "For men like you, Chief, the medals could never tell the full story." Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed, but Michael didn't stop. He just held Eli's hand, walking toward the old pickup truck that had seen better days. Eli looked up. "Daddy, does this mean we're safe now?" Michael squeezed his hand gently. "Yeah, son, we're safe. And one day, when you're older, you'll understand real honor doesn't need to be proven. It just is. The sun broke through the clouds, casting a golden glow on the two as they walked away, a father and son who had fought not for glory, but for love, truth, and dignity. And as the screen fades out, the narrator's voice echoes softly. Sometimes, the world forgets what heroes look like. They don't always wear capes or suits. Sometimes, they wear old uniforms, carry quiet scars, and hold the hands of their children while standing tall against the world.